Hello students, I am Piyush Arora and I am here with the new session on Java programs. I will explain you the use of mathematical functions explained to you earlier in my previous session. So one by one I will explain you the use and application of Java programs using the mathematical functions. So first here we start with the square root function. I have a pre-written program which I will explain you. So we open the program. This is the program. In this program you see we have a class math sqrt and we have a function square root. We take the value of a as 64, which is integer type. Now we calculate the square root of this value 64 by using the math.sqrt function. In this we give the value or the variable a for which the square root has to be taken. We see we have given float as an explicit type conversion over here. In my previous lecture I had explained to you about the type conversion, so I have taken float as the explicit type conversion. So what will happen is math.square root will take out the square root of 64 and store it in sq, which is a float type of variable. Since the type of the variable is changed, so we are using float over here. And we have a system.out.println. In this we have the square root of a is equal to sq. Now this is a formatting of the output. This output will give you the desired result in the formatted form. So when we compile this program, we get no syntax errors. We close this program. Now we make the object. The object is here. This is the object, left side, right, left corner, down below, red box. We press the right click and this is the function to be executed. So we click on this function and computer gives us the answer in the form the square root of 64 is equal to 8.0. Now you see here 64 is an integer type, therefore integer value is 64. 8.0 is a float type, therefore it is a float value. Since it is a float value, it is 8.0. If it had been an integer value, only 8 would have come. But now, since it is a float value, it is given 8.0. So this is the output of the first program. Then we come to the second program. This is the second program. Class math cbrt for finding the cube root. Void cube root, this is the function. Int a, again a is equal to 64. Float cbr is equal to float math.cbrt. Here I have taken cbr as the float variable. So again the float variable has been taken. cbrt is found finding the cube root. Math.cbrt to find the cube root of a, that is 64. Again we have the formatted output system.out.println cube root of a is equal to cbr. So the output will be cube root of 64 will be 4. So again we compile this program. Compiling program, no syntax errors. Close it. Now right click, make the object. Again you have the object on the left corner, right below, left corner. This is the object. Again right click, void cube root. Function to be executed is cube root. This is the answer you get. Cube root of 64 is equal to 4.0. The earlier output of the first was square root. This is the answer of the second one, cube root. So you get the cube root of the function. Then math abs. This is to find the absolute value. Math abs, void absolute value. This is the function name. Int a is equal to minus 67. Int ab is equal to math.abs a. Here I have taken ab as the variable to store the absolute value of minus 67. You see, I have taken minus 67 and integer AB is the variable to hold the value of the absolute value of the minus 67. So math.abs of A, system out print line, the absolute value of A is equal to AB, again the formatted output. So again we will compile this program. No syntax errors. Close. Right click. Make the object. This is the object and this is the answer. The absolute value of minus 67 is equal to 67. So this is the output you get for finding the absolute value. Now we come to the max function. This find the maximum of two values. Int AB, two variables we have taken. A is equal to 16, B is equal to 12. Then we have taken another variable, third variable, int max. Max is to hold the larger of the two numbers. Max is equal to max.max A comma B. Two arguments are given here. Two values will be taken and the output, that is the greater value, will be stored in max. System out println, the maximum number of out of A and B is equal to max. That is the formatted output. And when we run this program, first we compile this program. Now after compilation, we make the object. This is the object. Red color box is always the object. And we run the function maximum. So maximum number out of 16 and 12 is equal to 16. So this is the answer. Output is correct. Then we come to the math min function. This is the class math min. Void minimum. Minimum is a function. Int AB, 16 and 12 are taken again. Int min. Min is the variable to hold the minimum value out of two values. Min is equal to math.min A comma B. Again two arguments are taken. Here again the output is formatted. The minimum number out of A and B is equal to min. So again we compile this program. No syntax errors. Close. Right click. Make the object. The object is created here. Then again run this program. So now you get the minimum number out of 16 and 12 is equal to 12. So the minimum number is found, printed. Then we come to the math.pow, that is the function to find the power. Class math.pow, void power. Int AB, A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3. Float POW, since the answer of the POW function, math.pow function is normally given in float values, so we take in float. And POW is equal to float. Now POW is actually what? POW is the variable taken for finding the power of the number. And since the value is to be evaluated in form of float, we have again explicit type conversion over here. In brackets we have written float so that the value evaluated gets converted to float and stored in PW. A and B. A and B are two arguments where A is the number and B is the power. System.out.println, the value of A raised to the power of B is equal to PW. So this is again the formatted output. So when we compile this program, no syntax errors. Close. Again make the object, and after the object is made, run the function power. So we get the value of 2 raised to the power of 3 is 8. That is 2 into 2 into 2 is 8. 8.0 by 8.0 because the value is converted into float and printed. Therefore it is 8.0. Then math.round. This is rounding of the number. So round off. Float is equal to A is equal to 6.5 F. Now why F is written? Always remember, when we give the float values, when we store float values in a variable like this, direct, give F as the suffix for telling the compiler that this is a float value. This is again an explicit type of conversion where we actually tell the compiler, otherwise you will get an warning that loss of precision is there. So there, to ignore that error, we will always give F as a suffix after the number of the float type. So float A is equal to 6.5 F int R. Now R is taken as an integer variable because rounding off is always done in integer, higher integer or the lower integer. So computer will find the higher integer of the 6.5 and round it off to R. The value stored in R will be in an integer type. System.out.println, the rounding of the value A is equal to R. So this again is a formatted output. So the computer will round up the number and store it in R as an integer. So we will again compile this program. After compilation, we close it. We again make the object. After the object, we run the function round off. Again, the rounded off value of 6.5 is 7. This is the answer. So the rounding off is done successfully. Now we take the last function math.random. This is again we randomize. Now see here, double math.random. Math.random is the name of the class. Randomize is the name of the function. Double A is equal to math.random. Simple we say, because random numbers are generated in double form, double data type. So therefore we have double A is equal to math.random. So computer will generate itself some number which will be of double type, and we print that number. Now you see, again and again when we print these numbers by using the object, you will see different answers are coming. So we just compile this program and close it. Now make the object. Void randomize, we run the function. We get the answer. Random value generated is 0.541. This is the answer. Again, if you run this function, you see another value is generated, that is 0.776467, like this. Again, if you run this function, you get to know another value, that is 424. As many times as you run, you will get different answers. You see again 0.900. So these type of values are taken for lucky draws and lottery systems. So what we do here is, actually we multiply this by 10 or 100 or 1000 and get the integer part, which is again a random number as an integer, and we use it in our lottery systems or draws. So here we end our program and our session also. I have explained you square root, cube root, absolute, maximum, minimum, power, round and random functions. There are some more functions which will explain you later on, but as of now these are enough for you to practice and make these programs and use them in your programs whenever they are required. So thank you so much, and I hope to meet you in the next session. We will continue further with some more programs and features on programming in Java. Thank you.